Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod, and I'm here to talk about episode 1, the season premiere of RuPaul's Drag Race season 16. Before I dive in, I did a cast reaction video that you can find in the subject of this video in my Drag Race playlist. I post my recaps every Saturday morning, so if you like the video, consider subscribing for more. So let's dive into it. Ru tells us that it's season 16, and this time around we're doing things a little bit different, and for this show, I'm going to do things differently than I usually do too. For other shows, I do a little bit more of a detailed recap, but for this, I'm going to go through and really just give my highlights. Q is the first queen in, and I love this entrance look. She even says that she made the look herself, which makes it all the more impressive. And if you want to hear my reactions to all the looks, check out my cast reaction video. Tsunami Muse, Candy's drag daughter, is here and I guess is Cinderella. A mandatory meeting enters in her titty turtleneck and all the other girls hate her drag and says she looks like a secretary. Morphine enters next and critiques a mandatory's visible neckline. This queen is a queen for the people. I'm confused because there's an evil ghostly laugh and then Saphira walks in not looking like a ghost at all. I think her look should have been more spooky, but Saphira is clearly a great competitor. Mirage comes in calling everybody losers, and Amanda suggests let's hate her. My favorite entrance looks were Q and Dawn, and my least favorite was a mandatory. I really can't get past that thick titty turtleneck. So we do only get half the girls here, with this being a split premiere. I hate the split premiere, and I think if you're gonna do it, air both of the episodes on the same night. Ru comes in dressed like the Pillsbury Doughboys creator. He tells them they'll be competing for $200,000, and for their photo shoot today, they'll be showing up at the yassified nether region from Big Brother 25's front door and pose in Ru's ring camera. Then they get harassed by Love Connie on the street. A mandatory plays it up and make sure to keep her chin up in all her photos so we can see the neck on that titty turtleneck. Ru asks Q if Q stands for queef. Tsunami makes Ru laugh, and it's clear that Ru loves all the muses. Dawn comically tells Ru that she thinks that animals should vote, and Ru asks, do you think that they would vote for me? She says, not you. Is it because of the fracking, Dawn? Morphine does some splits on a lawnmower, and Mirage is a bit timid, but at least they gave her some hula hoops. Saphira really chews up the whole set, and Ru loves it. Later, of course, it wouldn't be the Drag Race premiere if the queens didn't de-drag and objectify each other. Ru comes back to tell the queens that Saphira won the challenge, and she sings in confessional, I knew I was gonna win, I sure did, I sure did. And Ru tells them that their maxi challenge will be MTV's Spring Break talent show. Ru tells them the winner of the challenge will get $5,000 and immunity that they can use in the future, but it seems like they may be able to use that immunity at any time. Ru also says the judges won't be scoring them, they'll be scoring each other with a mysterious rate a queen system. Just as they do on All Stars, the queens have a moral discussion about whether they should be strategic or fair with their votes, trying to establish a rubric. They need to ask for Alaska's help. Alaska's got the rubric. The queens also compare their butts, and they settle on Saphira having the ultimate BFA. Charlize Theron then randomly pops in with dessert saying, welcome to the neighborhood, Charlize Theron here, and I truly think if she didn't introduce herself, they wouldn't know who she was. Charlize Theron claims that she made a cake for them to eat. I'm not buying it. Charlize does have a nice message for the queens about her support for drag, and then she bounces with the pit crew, and the hardest working man on MTV, Asif from the challenge, is back on the pit crew to escort her out. As they get ready, Morphine tells the girls that her parents don't know that she does drag or that she's on the show, and that's on bravery for her. On the main stage, Ru's wearing an outfit inspired by, I guess, Lemonade, the drink, not the album. I don't love this color combo, but I'm happy with the length on Ru because last season there were a lot of dresses that were way too short. Ru introduces the judges. Michelle says she's a squirter, and Carson and Charlize are there as well. Derek Barry is hosting the talent show for no reason. Let's go over these talent shows. Morphine lip syncs in Spanish, twerks, and does a jump spin into a half split that looks really difficult. I thought this was nice. Amanda does a song about her kitty that felt like she was trying to make her own version of Anitra's talent show. Then she finds the kitty and she says she ate, but I think it was crumbs. Dawn gives a strong performance where she has multiple tearaways revealing pink hot dog fingers. We like it. Q does a very unique puppet show type act where she's a tiny ballerina and her feet are her hands. For me, this was the best talent. I liked that it was unique. Mirage does an original song about her being a bitch and proves that she's an amazing dancer and does a lot of really great floor work. Tsunami lip syncs an original song, but she kind of just struts around and gets through the number. Saphira sings an opera song with fake, humorous subtitles. During this, I was thinking a lot about how good Monet's opera was on All Star 7. Onto the runways where the category is reveal yourself. I was expecting to see some really big reveals. Morphine is wearing a towel dress that unravels into a bathing suit. A bathing suit for the premiere is such a bad idea. Dawn is a big furry yeti with blood in its mouth that reveals into her with long sleeves and a purple wig, and she looks great. Amanda walks in and her wig flies right off and she says, can I do that again? And then she walks off stage. So she takes two. She's wearing a face kini bodysuit and then she takes the wig off again and her face is painted purple under her face kini, and her body's not painted purple. I think if you're going to paint your face, you have to paint the body to cover the body. Tsunami reveals from a red jacket that comes off from the back into a little dress that reveals again into a red corset. Q is wearing a big black gown that's revealed to have big butterfly wings that she then takes off. The butterfly part of this was a big eyesore to me, but I liked this when it first came out. Mirage is a big feathery flower and plucks her petals to reveal an extremely jiggly breastplate. Saphira comes out in a big blue coat and instantly takes it off and just has a little blue corset with a breastplate. Now, I don't mean to be the breastplate police on my channel again, but I don't know if it's the way the pasties were put on here or the size of the breastplate, but it looked weird to me, and dare I say it looked cross-eyed. Carson even says, does that breastplate come from Baby Gap? In the judging, Morphine says her butt is all natural, and the judges are like, no, it's not. They call Dawn Lucille Ball energy. Michelle roasts Amanda's makeup and calls Tsunami low energy. Q tells them that she made her outfit, and Charlize jizzes over that. They loved Mirage's look and performance and compliment her boobs, and in that moment, the editors cut to Saphira, and the editors are shading Saphira's breastplate here. When it's Michelle's turn, she says that her breastplate looks like Fisher-Price's My First Boob. They go into their Rate a Queen, which is kind of exactly like the ranking system on The Circle. They have to rank all of their competitors from first to last. In the voting, Q says Amanda's runway was rotten. Most of them rank Amanda last. Q puts Tsunami last. The queens think that the bottom two queens that they vote for will be lip syncing for their life, which is a format that I'd really like to see and think would be interesting, but the top two end up lip syncing against each other for the win, and they end up being Q and Saphira. They'll be lip syncing Break My Soul by Beyonce. Saphira ends up bodying this from start to finish. Even though her breastplate nearly completely falls off, it hangs on within an inch of its life, and you won't break that breastplate soul. So Saphira thrives, and Q survives the lip sync. She gets through it, that's all I have to say. So Saphira wins 5K and immunity that she can use in the future, like when she decides to, I guess. I watch Untucked too. I regret watching this. Nothing happens. Why do the queens need a rack of Lush bath bombs? They spend a lot of time shitting on Amanda's drag, her breastplate, and her makeup, and her eyebrows, and then Charlize comes for a little while. My thoughts on this episode as a whole, like I said earlier, I really don't like how they do the split premieres. I get that the network orders a certain amount of episodes that they have to fill, so these two episodes really just end up being like glorified Meet the Queens content. But I think the show needs to be a little bit more aware of the fact that people are hosting events for people to watch this. I feel like it was especially insulting that it was a split premiere and that there was no elimination. This episode really left me off feeling no sense of urgency to tune in live at 8 o'clock next Friday to watch the next episode. If you have a show that's on Friday at 8 p.m., that better be must-watch television every single week. I did like the twist of the Rate a Queen. I think it would be super interesting if the winner of every week's challenge was safe, and out of everybody else, anybody could be voted into lip sync for your life. Here's my thoughts on immunity coming back. The way that immunity used to work, where if you won the weekly challenge, the next week you were safe. I feel like all too often a queen will win the challenge and get eliminated the next week, so I think there should always be immunity like that. The way this works, it made it seem like they could use their immunity at any time. I feel like winning this immunity is somehow a curse, because the producers are going to make your life a living hell trying to sabotage you so that you use this immunity. It almost makes it inevitable that you're going to be in the bottom two or conveniently in a situation where you're going home. So kind of by winning immunity, you make yourself production's target, and then you get put in the bottom, you get sent home, and then you save yourself, and then you have kind of no chance of winning the show, because then your overall track record sucks. So I just know that somehow this immunity is going to mess Saphira up in the future, and maybe production will use it as an excuse to have a non-elimination episode and waste our time. But that's all I have to say about this episode. Like I said earlier, subscribe if you liked the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the episode and all of the twists this week. I'll be back next Saturday to talk about part 2 of the season premiere of Drag Race 16. Until then, have a nice weekend. Bye!